Hello, I'm Sarah Olivia Price. I went by Eva. I'm happy for this opportunity to tell you a bit about myself and my family. I was born on November 23, 1876 in Utah before it became a state. My father is Joseph Price and mother Annie Alger. I grew up in the Dixie area in St. George. Here is a baby photo. I have a strong Mormon pioneer heritage. Here is a photo of me with my grandma Sarah Pulsifer Alger and some of my cousin. We loved St. George. My family lived on an acreage and I had big responsibilities at an early age. I would gather the eggs every morning and milked the cows. I had 3 siblings that made it to adulthood, Josephine, Claude, and Lucille. I spent much time caring for them. I practically raised Lucille, who is about 14 years younger. Here is the 1900 census. I was an excellent horseman and would ride in shows. I needed glasses at an early age and went to Salt Lake City to get my eyes doctored. While in St. George, I served as a stake young woman's president for church and would sometime travel to Salt Lake with Aunt Addie Price to see General Conference. I also would attend the Democrat county conventions. I was known for putting on plays and various productions. I gave readings and was known as somewhat of a stand-up comic. I belonged to the Dixie Thespians with my sister Josephine. It was great theatrical entertainment. The St. George Theater Hall had the largest stage and finest scenery south of Provo. I loved parties. I helped organize games at the local fair, such as the wheelbarrow race, the sack race, the egg and spoon race, the pie-eating contest, the tug-of-war of the singles versus the married couples, and a knitting contest for aged ladies. I worked for my Aunt Addie Price at a millinery store as a clerk. I later took it over. It was a woman's store selling general merchandise such as hats, skirts, underwear, table linen, wallpaper, toys and dishes. We put ads in the Washington County newspaper and would target big holidays such as July 4th, July 24th for Utah's birthday, and Christmas. When I heard of the Schofield mining disaster explosion, I was horrified. 200 miners died and they left about 105 widows and 270 orphan children behind. My father also was a miner. I donated $1 to the Schofield Relief Fund. My family moved to Salt Lake City in the summer of 1900. I shortly followed after turning over the millinery business to my cousin. My parents bought a boarding house near North Temple and State Street. I would help them out in their business. That is where I met my future husband Fred Worsley of the railroad from Chicago. We fell in love one day when I was in the kitchen alone during a party, and Fred came in to talk. We couldn't believe that we both liked the same type of odd-flavored sandwich. We got married on October 19, 1903. I was 26 years old and he was 6 years younger than me. I was acutely aware of how much older I was than Fred. It was listed in the newspaper we were the same age. Once I was embarrassed when someone referred to Fred as my son. Nonetheless, we had a very happy marriage. We quickly had our first child Frederick Joseph, but we called him Bus. My parents loved their grandchildren. We would often visit. Fred got a promotion from the railroad in Denver, Colorado, and we stayed there for 2 years. Catherine was born here. We wanted to go back home to Salt Lake. We loved getting together with family and wearing our special hats. I'm in the bottom left of this photo. We had 5 children that lived past infancy: Bus, Catherine, Price, Joanne, and Sylvia. We had 4 babies die in infancy, probably due to an Rh factor problem: Jerome, Josephine, and our twins May and Russell. We lived in downtown Salt Lake City most of our married life. Here is a photo of 218 First Avenue. We often had boarders in our home, many of them were connected to the railroad. You can find lodgers in our home in census reports, including this 1930 census. Holidays were an especially big feature of our household. I would decorate excessively for them, also complete with all manner of special treats. We loved Valentine's, Washington's birthday, Lincoln's birthday, and April Fool's. Here is a Thanksgiving turkey. One of my saddest moments in my life was in 1937 when Joanne passed away, days after giving birth to her only son. We were not happy with the hospital. How my heart ached. Another unexpected turn of events was when Catherine moved back home from Hollywood with her 2 young boys after a rough marriage. They lived with us for 6 years. I was a member of a bridge club that met at least weekly, and we often went to the movies together. I loved to entertain guests. I was a charter member of the University of Utah Mothers Club and was active in the LDS Church. My grandkids loved my breakfast cinnamon rolls. I died on March 8, 1955 from a lingering illness in Salt Lake at the age of 77. They had the burial service 3 days later at Wasatch Lawn Memorial Park in Mill Creek. I appreciate the saying of, "A light unto all," on my tombstone. I'm glad I could share my life story with you. I am Eva Price LiveStory. I grew up in St. George and spent most of my life in Salt Lake. I loved hosting parties and raising 5 of my children. Goodbye.